Hi guys, and welcome back to another Madden 19 video. Actually, to be honest, this is the first Madden 19 video I've actually done, so I'm not sure how many people actually remember the Madden 17 videos I used to do. Don't know, I can't remember, to be honest, if I used to do many rebuilds. I mean, I've always done rebuilds throughout the Madden series, but it's not something I've always done on video. I used to do quite a lot of Ultimate Team stuff, but anyway, I should be doing videos hopefully a few times a week, depending on how well they do. I can do one sort of every day, every other day. I'm mainly playing offline at the moment. I have got an Ultimate Team. At the moment it's 88 overall with about 1 million in the bank. So I'm doing pretty well on that, but I haven't been sort of doing videos for that just because I haven't had time. But anyway, enough of that. Today we will be doing a Bears rebuild. The Bears team, it's a pretty good team to rebuild. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to take the team. And with these rebuilds, I've seen sort of other formats on YouTube where they do either a realistic style or an unrealistic style. I was going to do my own take on it. It'll sort of be somewhat realistic, but with elements in it that obviously aren't realistic. So if it was just a realistic rebuild through and through every single time, using this, the same draft classes, you know, each time, like the 2019 draft class, I think that could get a little bit samey. So what I'll do, I'll probably just use the draft class that the game generates each year. I'll give myself sort of maybe 4 or 5 years, or 3 to 5 years probably, to get a Super Bowl with each team. Not sure if I'll do it. If you guys do enjoy this sort of thing, leave a comment down below. We're excited to see the videos come back again after probably around a maybe 3 year hiatus now. Maybe one and a half to 2 year hiatus. The videos are back. Let me know down in the comments, like I said. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Not sure many people will actually see this one, considering it's the first time there will be a video uploaded for, like I said, around 2 years. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to get back on Madden. Like I said, I've been playing it in the background I played all the last Madden, Madden 18 throughout the year, and I've been playing Madden 19 pretty much since it came out. If you want to see Ultimate Team videos, do let me know down below. I haven't done much online sort of head-to-head Ultimate Team yet, something I might get into, but so far it's just been, going through the solos and doing that way. But anyway, on with the rebuild. This is the team. It's a pretty decent team, to be fair. We've got Mr. Trubisky at quarterback, Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard at running back. Pretty good duo there. Not sure whether I'll keep both of them throughout the whole of the rebuild. I'll probably start with Jordan Howard, but I might throw Tariq Cohen in there, depending on how well he does. I mean, Jordan Howard is the scheme fit and he does have star development. Got Mr. Trubisky. Might change the scheme to fit him a bit more, because I'm going to try and build the offense around him. But, we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely use him for the first year. And if he's not performing that well after the first year, we'll see what quarterbacks are in the draft and might go with one of them. But for now, Mitch Trubisky is definitely the option. We've got Adam Robinson, who they picked up in free agency at the start of the year. We've got Taylor Gabriel, and we've got Miller, their rookie, in there as well. We'll probably play him in the slot, hopefully get him a little bit of XP. The offensive line's pretty good. Charles Leno Jr., I didn't actually know was that high rated on Madden. I mean, 83's fairly decent. He doesn't have a great development, but I mean, 83 overall, it's not something that you need to rebuild the position. And also, Trey Burton is an 88 overall. That's something I didn't know. I mean, he's a really good tight end. Being a Lions fan, I'm recording this just after the Bears beat the Lions, and it wasn't a pretty game to be a Lions fan. We got Adam Shaheen, who is a tight end. We're going to put him at fullback because he's actually in the 70s a fullback. So he'll probably be one of the higher rated fullbacks in the league. Hopefully make a Pro Bowl or two and get the overall up a little bit. I'm not sure how impactful a fullback actually is in a rebuild. I don't think they're actually that impactful at all. But, we'll see. We'll get him in there. And on defence, the Bears obviously known for their very good defence, especially with the addition of Khalil Mack this year. With the scheme, I think I'm going to change to a 4-3. Just because I want to get Khalil Mack on the D-line. And they do have... I can get Akeem Hicks and move him over to defensive tackle. And then they'll have 2 good defensive tackles. They'll have Khalil Mack, who should... sorry if the Elgato does muck up a little bit. But Akeem Hicks, like I said, I moved him to D-line. He'll be very good in a defensive tackle position. We've also got Khalil Mack in there, who should, I've seen a lot of other rebuilds and other rebuilds I've done off screen, can get up into the 20s with sacks. Also going to probably move Leonard Floyd to right end, just because he is a linebacker in real life, but he is very much a 3-4 linebacker. He's not great in coverage. He's mainly there just to rush the passer or shut down the run. So in Madden terms, he's going to be probably the best lineman we're going to have. Bilal Nicholas, not too bad, but like I said, I think Leonard Floyd will be better. And Danny Trevathan, I'm going to move over to the outside linebacker spot because we have the rookie of the guy who usually gets rookie of the year at the middle linebacker slot there. So overall, the team actually does look pretty good. I'll do a little bit of rearranging here and there. Every position on defence, to be honest, could be set if we're going to do 3 years. If we do 5 years, Danny Trevathan will start to decline, as will a few other players, because once you get 30 in this game, your overall does very significantly decrease. But overall, like I said, the team looks pretty damn decent. I haven't said Kyle Fuller, actually a cornerback number 1. He will be very good. And we have Adrian Amos at strong safety. But for now, we will jump into some trades. First trade will be Cunningham, Bellamy and Miller for Zeitler and Batonio. Second trade here, going to have Sims, Macy and a 4th round pick for a 1st round pick. Very good 1st round pick from the Jets there. This one, a trade that I couldn't believe happened. 2 1st rounds and a 3rd round for Prince Amukamara, Nick Kwiatkowski and, I'm not sure who that is, Acho there. Great deal. So, like I said, it's going to be somewhat realistic. This obviously isn't a realistic move. We picked up 2 guys from free agency. Going to add a 1st rounder in there. That'll be Jack Newhart, Rinchy Incognito. Changed their positions. That's who the Texans needed. And we picked up Deandre Hopkins. Because although Allen Robinson is good and Taylor Gabriel are good, I don't think either of them are very first class wide receivers. Whereas Deandre Hopkins, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the game at the moment. Some of the catches he makes with the quarterbacks that he has had are unbelievable. I don't think many other receivers could do that. Like, obviously Antonio Brown and Julio Jones are good, but they're Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Ryan thrown to them. This guy has had literally people that shouldn't even be backups throwing to him. But this is the team overall. Much to an 84 overall. Very good defence and a very good offence. Hopefully Roquan Smith can get Rookie of the Year, up his overall, and we'll see where we are at the mid-season. So going into the mid-season here, we're 4-3. That's not too bad. Adrian Amos is going to have to re-sign, but I'll take 4-3 considering, I mean, this team is good, but it's not quite Super Bowl good yet. I mean, they're pretty young. They've got a young core, young quarterback, young linebackers. The D-line's not too old, but some of the positions, like I said, they've got a few years of growth and development in them. 84 so far, 4-3. Cannot complain there. The O-line seems to be doing pretty well with the changes. Mitch Trubisky, unfortunately, no upgrades yet. You'd think, considering he's only a 78 overall, there's definitely room for development. He probably should have got at least 1 upgrade point by now, but he hasn't. But what we're going to do is we're going to re-sign people here. We've got Adrian Amos and Bryce Callahan. Adrian Amos, definitely going to get him in. He's very good free safety in the game. I'm not sure how well he's been doing this year in real life. Going to give him a 5-year deal. And if you didn't know, with contract extensions, guys, if you up the years, you can always lower the amount. You never have to increase it. I've seen some people do that. You can always lower it by a little bit, give you a bit of extra cap room in there, and it all does add up, because things, once you get a few years in and you've got a lot of good players, can get pretty tight. Bryce Callahan, we're going to bring back. Aaron Lynch, he's not fantastic, but he's not asking for tons of money. I think we can give him an extra year, lower the money a little bit to around 2.1 a year. We'll take that. It's not too much, and he will play this and next, potentially the year after that, depending on how the draft goes. Everyone else here is just a depth guy. I think we're going to leave them all out. We're going to bring up Pat O'Donnell, actually. He's a decent punter. For 76, it saves us having to draft one or sign one in free agency. He's on barely anything a year, so we'll just bring him back for 6 years. Punter overall, I don't think matters too much, but let's go to the end of the season and hopefully we'll make the playoffs this time round. So jumping to the end of the year, unfortunately we didn't make the playoffs. Very close though, 9-7. We just Just didn't get their on division record. It's a very close division actually. Two ties there for the Lions, which is very strange. Let's see what stats, see what Mitch Trubisky's doing like. That's a pretty decent year. Nearly 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns to 10 picks. It's a decent year. It's probably one of the better years you're going to get in the NFL. But we'll see what development he has and see whether we can go from there. Tariq Cohen, unfortunately, I did forget to change Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen round, but together they performed pretty decently. Jordan Howard with 4.4 yards per carry is very good. 3.7 for Tariq Cohen. Could be better, but I mean, he is mainly sort of a change of pace back. So I'll take that for now. Deandre Hopkins with exactly 1,000 yards. Pretty good. Allen Robinson around 800. Taylor Gabriel had a very good year actually there with 900 yards. Trey Burton also did pretty well there with nearly 800 yards. On the O-line, that is pretty terrible to be honest. You shouldn't have 5 sacks from both the guards and the centre. Might be somewhere we upgrade in the draft or free agency, depending on who's there. Don't think there's any big free agent lineman first year, but we'll see. On defence, that's quite disappointing. Not very many, well, quite a lot of tackles for loss there, 17 between Mack and Hicks, but not very many sacks. So I think we will change the defensive philosophy for next year. This one clearly didn't work. It worked with picks. We did get a lot of picks. We got 3 picks on 3 players, so double-digit picks over the whole team, pretty damn good. Not very many forced fumbles. A blocked kick in there. Not many fumble recoveries, actually, either. This is definitely very strange. Any defensive touchdowns? We did get one with Bryce Callahan, so pretty good we signed him. Let's see the yearly awards. Offensively, 14th, very middle of the pack. And defensively, 19th. So very middle of the pack there on both sides of the ball, really. Le'Veon Bell wins MVP. If he was in free agency, probably not someone I'm going to pick up, but you never know. What happens a lot is the Rams actually pick him up, which is absolutely ridiculous. In the NFC, Mitch Trubisky did actually make Offensive Player of the Year in at 7 there. Defensive Player of the Year, can't imagine we'll have anyone here. Don't see Sue win it very often. Actually, Trevathan's there. That is surprising. No one on the Offensive Rookie, but Defensive Rookie is Roquan Smith. He should get a nice overall bump from there. Deshaun Hand making a nice little appearance. Very underrated draft pick there. If you haven't watched any Lions games this year, he has been a very bright spark on a very, very below average defensive line for the Lions. But anyway, on with the Bears. We don't get very many awards. I'm just going to go through here, see if we got anything. Let's see what the XP situation is looking like. Hopefully, since it is a young team, we can develop it a bit over the coming few years. We're up to an 85 overall already. Shaheen, that looks like potentially a Pro Bowl with 3 points there. I'm going to move Jordan Howard up so we do start him next year, just because I think he is a bit better all-round back. Roquan Smith there with 3 points. A few people with 1, but I did expect a few more points. But then when you're 19th defensively, not a lot's going to happen. So we've got Jake Elliott and Smith in free agency. Nothing to shout about really. But let's move on with the draft to see what picks we got. We got the number 1 pick. So what I'm probably going to do with the number 1 pick, and what makes sense, is just trade it down. There's no one on the draft board who looks fantastic for number 1 value. So I'm going to trade down, get a 1 and 2 next year, and just trade down to 19th this year. So looking at the draft board, the only good person, to be honest, left is Long Mangum. Very strange name. Got very good hit power, very good pursuit, very strong. 80 overall quick development. I'll take that. He's very much a run stopper though. Everything else he's not very good at. So he is a very much a one-trick pony. Not very good at rushing the passer. Decent block shed. No finesse or power moves though. So literally run stopping is all he will be. So he could be move him to the D-line. Not ideal considering when we have Khalil Mack and Leonard Floyd there. But you never know, moving him to D-line might make his overall a little bit better considering that is pretty much run stuffing will be his thing. Maybe keep him on as a linebacker, not sure. I mean, this draft class, if I did go through it and show you, it's not good at all. So I'm probably going to be trading a few picks away and we'll build on that next year. Hopefully next year's draft will be a little bit better. Going to see, there's quite a few good offers on the table here. I'm going to take the Cowboys one. Just because there tends to be some gems lower in the draft every now and again, especially in the second year with quarterback, because in the first year, every team that wants a quarterback takes one. Let's see who's available here, actually. So there are a few quarterbacks still available. You know, as I said, not many teams do need quarterbacks as of now, and there's always, well, not always, but there tends to be about 6 or 7 first-round quarterbacks. So if you get into the second, potentially third round, you can usually snag a gem lower down who will be pretty good. And Hillenmeyer there looks pretty good. Binerman, I think. So you're going to say that? Binerman, maybe. He also looks pretty good. Hillenmeyer, I think you never see A+ break sack, so I think I'm going to go for him. He says early first round. He's only 23. He's a scrambler. He's a superstar development. That is fantastic. Getting him. I think Mr. Trubisky's going to be out of here then. He did okay in the first year. You know, he was one of the, I'd say, top 10, top 15 quarterbacks of the year. Nothing too special though. So if we get someone with superstar development within a year or two, as long as we perform, they're a guaranteed 90 or 95 overall. We'll definitely take that with this Bears team, because having a good quarterback with Deandre Hopkins, with Tariq Cohen, with Jordan Howard, should be easy playoffs. Could use a wide receiver. I mean, we'll get Gianni Patrick in. 31 overall, true talent. We took him 84th. Not a bad pick. He looks fairly decent. You know, looks a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. Just a good possession slot receiver, and we'll chuck him into the team. And I'll probably see him to the end of the draft. So guys, this is the draft overall. It looks fairly decent. Only got 5 players because we traded a few away. 80, 77, 76 and 73 are okay. Overall in the draft, like, we'll go through the overalls here, and as you can see, it's not fantastic. There's 182 Jamal Laws, who we didn't need a running back. He looks okay though, 23 years old. 381s, and the rest are 80 and below, so nothing spectacular considering our positions. Most of them we already have are around 80 overall anyway. We don't need to get anyone else in. Matt Byman there does look pretty good, although he's not superstar development like our guy, so I think we made the good choice on that one. I wasn't sure whether we needed a quarterback anyway, but getting him in hopefully will be an upgrade from Trubisky. Might have to change our scheme around, might change to a spread offense if we've got a scrambler, just to get him that little bit more XP. And spread does do very well in the sim, but let's take it to year 2. So jumping into the second year of this rebuild, we've got Mr. Trubisky as quarterback there, but I think I'm going to move Hillenmeyer up to number 1. Mr. Trubisky might look to trade him away, just because I don't think he'll develop into this starting quarterback that we're going to need to take this team to the Super Bowl. Gianni Patrick looks okay, but he is going to be the 4th option receiver. I mean, he's decent, but he's not fantastic at anything. The defence does look very good though. Hopefully this year, with a bit of a scheme change, or maybe a playbook change or something, actually might make a difference. I'm not sure if that does make a difference. Let me know in the comments if it does, but I'll change the playbook and let's see. You know, I'll make a few trades and let's see where we are. So the only 2 people that I really want to get rid of are Mitch Trubisky and Trevathan. We'll get Kenny Clark in. We'll add a 3rd. He is a very good defensive tackle. Him and Akeem Hicks together, both around 90 overall. Getting that very high defensive line overall in place. Hopefully good at stopping the run. Give us a chance to get to the quarterback and passer. Hopefully force a few errant throws. Get a few picks and we'll go from there. But the team overall, 87. By the second year, that's pretty damn good. Very good O-line. Good skill positions. Hillenmeyer leading the team. Hopefully he can get Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's see where we are around the mid-season mark. So going into the mid-season, we're 5-1-1. We do have some big signings to make by the looks of it with Kenny Clark in there. We're also leading the division, which is pretty good. I can imagine Hillenmeyer is having a pretty decent year by the looks of it. He's already got 2 points. That superstar development makes a huge difference. Both running backs got a point as well, so it looks like together they're just going to make their way up to around a 90 overall between each, which is pretty damn good. Can't complain there. Roquan Smith with a few points. Eddie Jackson with a few points. Also, I haven't mentioned so far, but he looks like a very, very good safety. Not sure whether we have to re-sign him yet. Re-sign is probably coming up pretty soon. Got Kenny Clark, 84 million over 6. That is an expensive one. To be fair, he is only 23. We'll up it by a year. We'll lower the cap hit just a little bit. We still have 32 million per year, so I think next year that's going to go down quite a lot. Jordan Howard, 33, that's quite high. Cody Whitehair, he's not been fantastic, but his overall is good, and getting in the centre is pretty hard. So we'll give him a little bit of money. We'll give him 3 and a bit per year. Good offer, he'll take that. Leonard Floyd, He's not asking for too much. He's 82 overall, so he's not bad. He is fairly decent. We'll lower that by a little bit per year. So it goes down to 4 per year. His face scan, by the way, is fantastic. No one else in here that I think I'm going to sign. Jordan Howard for 33 over 5. Not going to give him that. I'm really going to lowball him, see if he takes it. If not, we can either draft the running back or just get someone else in free agency for a nice cheap deal. Maybe Austin Eckler or someone like that. Someone like that does come up a lot. Lower this signing bonus, see if he takes it. And he does. So it looks like Jordan Howard does want to play here. Hopefully him and Tariq Cohen can have an impact on the second half of the season and we can make it to the playoffs, this time round. That'd be fantastic. Let's see how we go. So going into the playoffs, we've made the playoffs. Fantastic. We beat the Chiefs in the last week, which is pretty good, and we're 13-2-1. Only 2 losses over the year with a tie in there. That is good. And I think I just saw a little story there which said one of our players looked like he was in the MVP running. Whether he won it or not, I'm not sure. Looks like he did with a season like that. Hillenmeyer coming in 4,800 yards, 41 touchdowns with only 9 interceptions. That is phenomenal for a rookie. Nearly 70% completion percentage. That is unbelievable. That's unheard of. Unless you're Drew Brees, of course. But anyway, Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, pretty decent running back duo there. Over 1,000 yards between them. I'll take that, to be honest. I'm not expecting too much considering we're in spread. And since we're in spread, we have a lot of people with receiving yards here. We have Deandre Hopkins, 1,300 nearly. Trey Burton with nearly 1,000 as a tight end. Taylor Gabriel coming up big again. And Allen Robinson, he's doing his bit. He's made a lot of catches for a fair amount of yards. Tariq Cohen also doing a lot of receptions there. So overall, the team looking pretty good on offense. Did we get how many sacks? Cody Whitehair letting up 7 on his contract here. I think maybe we gave him a contract too early. That is pretty bad. But I mean, it's strange. Sometimes the centre will give up loads, sometimes they'll give up none. Tackles for loss here. Khalil Mack with 17, Akeem Hicks with 16, Kenny Clark only with 7, but it looks like Kenny Clark made his redemption there with 9 sacks. Khalil Mack with 17, I mean, that is the norm. He's always going to get a lot there. And we've got Preston Smith coming in quite well with 5 sacks there. So everyone doing their part. When it comes to picks, not as many as last year. 3 for Carl Fuller, 2 for Bryce Callahan, 1 pick for a fair amount of people. Any forced fumbles? It's got to be a fair few forced fumbles. None. Not a single forced fumble when we had that many sacks. Okay, that's pretty hard to believe. But anyway, we've got a defensive touchdown in there from Kevin Tolliver. I think that's how you're going to have to say that one. But overall, that looks like a very good season. Let's check that he did get the MVP. It looks like he would with a season like that. And it's Casey Hillenmeyer with the MVP. Probably the best draft pick I'm going to get. Doing all these rebuilds. Looks like he is fantastic. He also gets Offensive Player of the Year. A few other rookies in there. Aaron Donald coming in at the Defensive Player of the Year spot. I thought Roquan Smith or Khalil Mack would get that because they both have very good years and we're 13-2-1. He gets Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, that was sort of a given considering he was MVP. And Long Mangum there, coming in 3rd. He didn't seem to have a fantastic year, but for some reason, some players are higher ranked than they should be. I'm not sure how Hillenmeyer didn't get best quarterback. But anyway, let's see. Theo Riddick coming in there in the running backs with in the top 10. Wouldn't expect that. Our O-line's, performing fairly decently. Let's look at the XP that we're going to get from Hillenmeyer. I think Hillenmeyer, he should have... I'd be happy with sort of around 5 or 6 points. But then he did get a lot of awards. It is his rookie year. He does have superstar development. We'll see how he goes and how many points he has. And he has 12 points. That is surprising. I've never seen double digits on anyone. 12 experience points. And we haven't boosted the experience sliders up too much. I think they're on about 150 for the whole way down just to keep it realistic. But Hillenmeyer, that is a lot of XP. He's already an 81 with confidence. I might get the scrambler up a fair bit, though I might get field general up just a little bit, just so he gets better throwing stats. But yeah, I'll upgrade the players a little bit here. You can see sort of what upgrades he's going to get. I think with those 12 points, he should be up in the 90s just within his first season. But anyway, let's jump into our first playoff game. So the first game is against the Falcons. Just going to skip this one. We should win it, and just as I say that, we don't win it. So we're straight out of the playoffs at 13-2-1 with the MVP leading us, and we've upgraded everyone to a 90 overall. Cannot believe that. So after that disappointing playoff postseason exit, we're going to jump into the draft. We couldn't get anyone in free agency, weren't any good names. Once again, we have the first overall pick, and we're going to trade this down with the Vikings to the second overall. Got a fairly decent deal there. Got a first, a second, and a first for a first, a fourth, and a fourth, I think. So we moved down one spot. That was the guy I was going to go with, actually, Cooper. He looks fairly decent there, 81 overall. Considering how the drafts are going, that probably is one of the best ones we're going to get. So we might trade down again just to get another pick in for next year. If we're not doing fully realistic, this is the way to go. If you want to, get your team to a phenomenal level, you just trade back and trade back and trade back, and eventually you'll have so many first-round picks. You can get those superstars, you can get those star developments in, and just make a huge difference. So, a pick 16. Not sure exactly what position we need to upgrade. There are a few positions we could go with. Potentially safety, considering we're going to have to re-sign some of them soon. Maybe a cornerback. The O-line could use a bit of work, considering their overall's good, but they're giving up a lot of sacks. There aren't too many people who are that good here. Maybe Lewis Gunn, maybe Ryan Hawley. Their combine's decent. Any wide receivers? There isn't too much going in this draft. Once again, it's not a phenomenal draft. There might be a few gems later on with good development. But for now, I'm not sure who to get. Villami Raab. I mean, we do have two good running backs, but I think Tariq Cohen's contract is up this year, and Jordan Howard's, he's just re-signed on a fairly cheap deal, so could have him paid as a number one. Villami Raab. He is an 80 overall superstar. Didn't expect him to be a superstar. I didn't actually look at the Heisman stories, so he could have been that to get him the higher chance of being a superstar. But he looks very good. Doesn't fit our scheme, but he'll still be a very good running back for us. So with the next pick, once again, not too many positions we can upgrade, but Deion Reynolds does look pretty good. Looks very similar to the guy we drafted last year, but we'll get him in. Superstar again. 20th overall in true talent. We took him 20th, so it's not a reach. It's like the perfect pick to go for him. Stats-wise, he doesn't look fantastic. But superstar development, he's very strong for a linebacker with 89 strength. And he'll fit into the team quite nicely, as you'll see here. We're up to a 91 overall as a team. We should make playoffs again. I'd be very surprised if we don't make playoffs. We've got Villami Raab leading the line with two very good backup running backs. Might look to trade one of them. See if we can get any value for them. If not, we'll just keep them there because they'll be very good options. Tariq Cohen as a third down back and Jordan Howard as the power back. So very nice little running back committee there. Probably the best in the league. And with Hill and Meyer leading the team, hopefully we'll make playoffs. So this is the only trade we're going to get. We've got Preston Smith, Aaron Lynch, and we're going to get Quentin Nelson in just to shore up the line. And moving into the mid-season, that's a fairly decent record. We should be first in the division with a record like that. We are 5-2. So, the team seems to be performing pretty well. Not as well as last year, but still as many wins as last year. So, can't complain there. Any big signings to make? Eddie Jackson, I thought his contract was up soon, as with Tariq Cohen. Adam Shaheen, that's quite expensive for a fullback, so we'll see if he'll take a bit of a low ball offer there, around 1.5 per year, over 5. He will. Like I said, if you know about the fullback making a difference in sim, let me know. If not, I just won't bother with them in the future. Eddie Jackson, not much cap room left, so we're going to have to be quite stingy with these guys. I'll probably sign Eddie Jackson just because he is very good at an 89 overall. He is down to normal, but okay, he won't take that offer. Might have to up it a little bit. Allen Robinson. I'll try and lowball these guys. If they accept the lowball offer, I'll take them. If not, I'm just going to leave them. It's a fairly cheap offer for a very good number 2, and he won't take it either. So I think we might have to let all these guys go at the end of the season, and maybe we can replace them in the draft, but hopefully they'll be there through our playoff run. So, sim into the playoffs. It's a fairly... I'll take that. We lost to the Vikings in the final week, which could be quite costly. That could have given us a first round bye, but the team seems to be performing pretty well. We did come first in the division, just with it being quite a competitive division at the NFC North. And whoa, Hill and Meyer That's even better than his MVP season with those yards. His completion percentage isn't quite as high, his touchdowns aren't quite as high, and his interceptions have gone up a little bit. But those yardage, over 5,000 yards, that's pretty much unheard of. Like I said, running back committee, not one person is going to stand out. They're all just going to do a very good job. As you can see, the backups got around 4.5 to 5 yards per carry. Can't complain about Taylor Gabriel coming in with a huge season again. If you want a little unsung hero in your drafts, seems like to get him in because he always performs unbelievably well. Blocking, not fantastic. Looks like Zeitler didn't actually play when I did want him to. But anyway, seems like the line did fairly decently. Kyle Long's overalls just absolutely plummeted because of regression, so we're going to have to replace him properly. Roquan Smith, leading tackler on the team as expected. I think he will be in any year, any team do this. A lot of tackles for loss throughout the team. 4 people with double-digit tackle for loss is pretty good. Khalil Mack, 21.5 sacks. Leonard Floyd, 11.5. Kenny Clark with 8.5. Roquan Smith with 7 from the middle linebacker spot. That could be Defensive Player of the Year stats there. 7 sacks, 3 picks, 130 tackles. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get Defensive Player of the Year. So the team, we've built it, and well, I say we've built it. We haven't done too many trades. We've just built the team up. We've done about 6 or 7 significant trades, which I suppose does count as, properly rebuilding it. But anyway, let's move into the yearly awards, see if we've got anything going on in there. Offense and defense in the top 10. So I'm not sure how we didn't have a better record, but Casey Hillenmeyer, MVP again. Double MVP season from the lad. He's probably the best draft pick we're ever going to make in any of these. So it's a good way to start off with him. I'm not sure how he doesn't get Offensive Player of the Year behind Ezekiel Elliott. Phillip Rivers of the Saints is a bit strange. Defensive Player of the Year is Roquan Smith. So we got the best, we got MVP for an offensive player, and Seahawks got a lot of players in the Defensive Player of the Year running there. At 12 and 4, that's not surprising actually. But yeah, we have the best offensive and best defensive player in the division. Can't complain there. But let's jump into the playoff game. I'm going to go through these playoff games on Play the Moments. Probably not going to play anything. We'll just see how the team scoring goes, and works out. So let's jump into the game against the Packers. So I think we were 10 overalls higher than the Packers. So this should be a foregone conclusion, this game. We should absolutely dominate them. And so far, it looks like we are. I mean, we're 3-0 up. We've got the ball back. So let's just jump ahead through the quarters, get through these games relatively speedy and see where we end up. Hopefully winning a Super Bowl this year, because this is probably one of the best teams we're going to be able to put together by year 2. So we're already 10-0 up. It's up to 17-0. 17-7, they do come back. We're up 20-10 at the half. I'd definitely take that, considering we're playing the Packers. We need a 2-possession lead, really. Make that 3-4 possessions, 34-10. Very good third quarter, from this Bears team. And we've got the ball back. It looks like this should be game over. We're up by 24 points. Make that 31 points, 41 to 20. And that is game over. So they stood no chance there. Being a higher overall should make you win the games like that. It doesn't always, but that was an absolutely dominant performance. Rodgers with a fairly decent game though. So, moving into the next game against the Seahawks. Once again, I mean, they were 12 and 4, so they do have a better overall rating than us throughout the year. But it should be a close game. We should win because, once again, we're about 6 or 7 overalls higher than them. We're up 7-3 by the end of the first quarter. So it looks like we're well on our way to that. 14-10, 21-10. I mean, we're doing fairly well so far, 21-13. We're up 1 possession. I think we get the ball at half. We do. And we make them pay. It's actually a very, very close game, this one. The Seahawks are keeping in it, but we're just about keeping the lead. I think they do have they had the ball and they scored straight away. Up 31 apiece. And we missed the field goal. Taking it to overtime. And the Seahawks just take the victory there. I mean, the overall we had, we should have won that game fairly easily. So, going through the draft this time, I didn't want to go through the whole thing with you. I mean, next year might be the final year. The overall, we did get a few overalls. I mean, I simmed the draft after the second round. Just we had so many picks. I thought the CPU can't muck everything up. We just need depth players anyway, because our starting 22 is pretty much put together now. Overall, the draft, there was an 83 overall right tackle in this one. It was someone I was looking at drafting in the first round, but we didn't go with him in the end. just because our O-line is pretty good, but just some aging players on it, so getting some young bloods to come in and make a difference would be pretty good there. But as you can see, there's a lot of high overall tackles in this draft. Bruce Bueller looks pretty good for the Niners there. But anyway, we'll jump into the next season. So this season, 90 overall. We did lose a few key players. I don't think we're going to make any more signings or trades. I think this year we're just going to go through with the drafted players and see where we end up. Pretty bummed we didn't win the Super Bowl last time. We were 90 overall, or I think we were about 92, 93 overall when it came to the playoffs. So we've lost a few players since then. We should have won the draft. The Super Bowl. Sorry, I did trade for Landon Collins, actually. That one I did forget, even though I only did it a little while ago. We're going to move him to... I think we're going to move Amos to free safety, actually, just because of scheme fits. That should take us up to like a 90, 91, 92 overall as a team. And that, I think, will be the highest overall team in the NFL. So it should be easy to the playoffs. We'll go through the moments. If at some point I feel like the game is being a bit unfair, I might jump in. Say we're up against a 79 overall and we're getting dominated when we're a 92. I'll see how it goes. But anyway, we'll jump to the mid-season. The team looks very good. If there are any improvements you think I could have made or should have made, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear how you guys would go about rebuilding the Bears. Maybe keeping them in a 3-4. Maybe doing something different with the offense. But I think overall, what we've done with the team is pretty good. There are some teams where this is easier than others because they have youth rather than aging players. The Bears are one of those where they have youth and they can just, get through rebuilds like that, just drafting and moving their way up fairly quickly. And we didn't actually make the play. We went 8-8. With a team like that, you should not be going 8-8. I mean, that we're going to have to put this one down as a failed rebuild. Even though I think that is ridiculous. We're up to a 93 overall. Got a few XP points to spend as well. Hillenmeyer once again had a very good year. Probably not MVP quality. Rushing, we did fairly decent. There's only got 2 in the committee that time. Grant Holt, not sure who he is or why he is running the ball so much. Taylor Gabriel, very big season. Deandre Hopkins fell off a little bit there. Maybe Allen Robinson was the key to the team. Made playoffs without him. As soon as he leaves, we don't make it. I mean, he was a very big part of the receiving corps. But the line performed better this year. Very strange how we didn't make playoffs. I can't quite understand how we didn't. But anyway, I'm not going to do another year just because I thought that was the final year. I don't think there's any point doing another one. We could win the Super Bowl, but who knows. I might do it off camera. If you want me to do a set 5 years each time, let me know down in the comments. But anyway, this is going to be the end of the video. Quite disappointed we didn't manage to get a Super Bowl on our return to YouTube. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, subscribe to the channel and there'll be more videos coming out soon.